have definitely started pouring into the ETFs. European investors have definitely started pouring into the ETFs. So European investors pour a record 105 billion into US Bitcoin ETFs. Despite record European inflows, Bitcoin has been unable to recover above 70K. And one of the reasons is because, crypto Bitcoin search volumes on US retail have basically hit like multi-year lows. So like people in the US, they're definitely not searching for Bitcoin. And generally that means like US retail is not there yet. It could pop up really, really fast, but people just aren't searching for Bitcoin. My guess is like right now the presidential election is taking up a lot of people's attention, and afterwards we definitely might see more interest coming into crypto. So if you look at past 5 years, like we are way down. It's starting to come back up a little bit maybe because it was 16 that September. Now it's like 17, but it's very, very low. It's like, not really even higher than what we had like all of last year in 2023. Like we had slightly lower in September of 2022, but like in 2023, we are like really, really low right now in terms of the search volume. And, we're not really even better than 2019, 2020. So realistically, like the interest in Bitcoin is still way down in terms of searches. And that generally means like retail has not recovered. Crypto, however, is way higher than the growth in the search term crypto is way higher since last cycle. But realistically, like people are really just not interested in in crypto right now, at least in the United States. If you actually look at the queries, the ones that are breakout, like people are interested in terms of crypto, what people are interested in is Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu on Rising, and of course related topics. You have like Shiba, like people are really, really interested in Shiba Inu for some reason. I don't exactly know why. If you look at for the past 5 years, if you look at the past 12 months, like the data, you can see kind of like what's hot. So you can do like coin led into crypto led into coin. There's like a lot of regulation stuff in the last year and stuff. So like, people still really aren't searching for cryptos. They're not searching for Bitcoin. Things really haven't spiked or peaked yet. So even though European people are coming into the ETF, like retail investment is not really there. But European investors have poured $105 billion into U.S. Bitcoin ETFs. So European investors have allocated a record amount of capital into spot Bitcoin ETFs in the United States. Europeans have invested over $105 billion in spot Bitcoin, marking an all-time high. The record European ETF flows were shared by Eric Balchunas, a senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg, who wrote in an October 21st X post, flows into U.S.-focused ETFs by locals in Europe is now at a record 105 billion year to date. And why not? SPY is up 24% versus 10% for Europe. Asia is also funneling record flow. So people are looking at the U.S. market, and the U.S. market is outperforming, obviously, the Asian market and the European market. So European market is flowing into Bitcoin and also the U.S. market overall. So basically, like, despite the ETFs that are actually gaining traction, we haven't really hit 70K yet, but we're still very, very close. And the fact that people are just buying these ETFs from like different countries, I think that definitely gives us a leg up on everything. And like I said, I think today, crypto is basically just tagging along with the stock market, which is too bad because the stock market is doing like pretty bad. The stock market is doing pretty bad today, but I think we will bounce back up tomorrow. Yes, the Israeli thing could really, really hinder us, but I'm not really too worried about that because like they've kind of like completely telegraphed exactly what they're going to do. And there was like if you guys didn't follow, there was like an intelligence leak, from like the Pentagon or whatever, detailing like what Israel was going to strike. I personally think that's BS. I think they leaked that on purpose. Like I think Israel wanted to leak that on purpose as well because they wanted to somehow covertly tell Iran, like where they were going to strike, so Iran can move all their assets, so it doesn't like kill anyone, so Iran doesn't have to have a harsh counterattack. Neither side really wants to get into a war, so they're basically trying to signal and tell people, like tell each other exactly where they're going to strike next. And then, so when they do strike, there's not that much. There's like it's not that devastating. So like the other side has like a tactic to actually back down. Now, I do believe they'll still strike before the election, and we might have a small dip down to like 65, 64K, but that's about it. I don't really see us going any lower than that. There has been a crypto trader that has profited $9 million in 3 days. Obviously, this is one of those meme coins. A savvy crypto trader profited more than $9 million on his initial altcoin investment, showcase the potential of meme coin trading. And it's not a meme coin that we've actually heard of. Now, I don't know if he had enough like liquidity to pull out, but even if he didn't have enough for $9 million, probably had enough for like $3 or $4 million. The trader made a 3,000-fold return on his investment in the Solana-based Nunogram GNON coin, a low market cap meme coin launched on October 17th. The trade was flagged by on-chain intelligence from Look On-Chain. The guy turned 3K into 9 million in just 3 days. He spent only 3K to buy 56 million GNON via 3 wallets and sold a small part. Honestly, I would have sold the vast majority of my GNON had I made $9 million. Despite their lack of intrinsic utility, meme coins have created many millionaires through their extreme price volatility. In May, a Pepe trader turned 3,000 into 46 million in a month, capitalizing on the frog-themed meme coin price rally. And this is kind of like what we're talking about. This is what keeps people interested in memes, because let's face it, man, people are just completely chasing these kinds of gains. They love these kind of gains. They completely adore and love these kind of gains, and there's nothing that like we can actually do about it. They're gonna trade these memes like their life depended on it. So obviously, GNON meme coin rises 230% in a day following Moonshot listing. Despite no clear use cases for the mysterious meme coin, there's no clear use case for almost any meme coin. It managed to stage a daily rally in excess of 200%. Now, I don't really know how many of your utility coins are going to do that. And that just goes to show you, like, this guy, even though he wasn't a developer or an insider, like, he can still make money. And even though I will agree with you guys that most people actually lose money, you know, it's stuff like this that keeps people coming back. And it's the speed at which this happens that gets people excited. Because people, like, more than anything in crypto, people in crypto want excitement. So the token began gaining momentum after it was listed on meme coin trading platform Moonshot on October 19th. The platform is becoming increasingly popular among beginner retail traders looking for the next big meme token. Still, GNON's rally may be short-lived, considering that no fundamental development catalysts support its long-term price appreciation. Yeah, for meme coins, you don't really need that. And of course, they're saying it's a symptom of a disillusioned generation. It's exactly the same concept as like buying lottery tickets. And people keep buying those damn things like time after time and time. Since lottery tickets have not died out, meme coins will not die out either. It's just like a digital form of like buying a lottery ticket with slightly better odds, basically. The recent success of meme coins is a function of disillusioned younger generations similar to the punk music genre, which became popular music movement after initial criticism. According to Hao Yang, head of financial products at Bybit, he told Cointelegraph, the success of meme coins can be seen, like punk rock, as a symptom of disillusioned young investors who have seen the opportunities afforded to their parents disappear. Maybe. I mean, like, the job market's nowhere near as good as it was 30 years ago. I'll give you that, definitely. Moreover, meme coins that reach billion-dollar valuations showcase the absurdity of the fiscal system, added Yang. By printing tokens out of thin air and pumping them to billion-dollar valuations, these creators are showing the absurdity of our current fiat system. I don't really know how many of them are actually concerned about that. I think they're just wanting to make money. But it does go to show you how ridiculous the current system actually is. Also, because there's no controls in crypto, it's much harder to do this in the stock market. I mean, there is GME and AMC, but like you would have to have someone organize stuff like that, and it's much harder to get a crypto listed, like a company listed on one of the major exchanges, than to have a crypto listed. So the Solana meme coin craze can positively affect the SOL price, with some market traders predicting a rally up to $180 on continuous demand for meme coins. Obviously, if Bitcoin rallies, it will go way higher than that. So that's where we are. Doge says Dejan. I mean, like, look, if you don't want to participate in it, that is If you don't want to participate in it, that's perfectly fine. But you know, like there's going to be countless numbers of people that get wrecked on this, but there's also going to be quite a few that make money on this. And you know, like when people lose money on these meme coins, they're losing a couple $100. When people make it big like this, it's like hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. So definitely, like you know, something to kind of like take notice of right there. And you know, the stuff really isn't going. The stuff really isn't going to just like go away, basically. I mean, I think a lot of people are hoping that it just goes away and then crypto goes back to utility coins. That's not happening because most of those utility coins are BS anyways. And a lot of the value of the utility coins comes down to ecosystem, and half the ecosystem's like memes. So I don't really think there's much substance to this whole thing going away. So ApeCoin has jumped 100%. So the reason ApeCoin jumped 100% is because of the Ape Chain launch. Now, I do not have any faith in BAYC. I am not a Bored Apes fan, a Bored Apes Yacht Club fan. I don't think like it really has too much substance, nor is it actually going anywhere. So ApeChain mainnet launch and Layer Zero's integration have translated into 100% price upside for Ape in the recent days. The price of ApeChain was up October 21st, gaining 130% over the past 4 days amid excitement over the launch of anticipated blockchain network ApeCoin. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView shows Ape rose from lows of 0.861 on October 20th, climbing as much as 104% to a 6-month high of 1.75 on October 21st. At the time of the publication, ERC20 governance token traded at 1.53, up 16.5 over the last 24 hours and 125% in the past week. So there we go. So if you want to know why ApeCoin is going up, it's because ApeChain launched. And they are FOMOing the hell out of it. Would I buy ApeChain? No. Not, like I said, I am not a believer in BAYC, but maybe some of you are. I don't think too many of you are believers in BAYC because the whole monkey JPEG's worth $1 million thing? Yeah, not really my thing, but hey, maybe it's your thing. I wouldn't bet on it though. I mean, it's Mark Cuban's thing. Mark Cuban really likes NFTs. But I think Cuban is actually more interested in like utility NFTs. Mark Cuban's really interested in like utility NFTs. It's NFTs a thing? Well, yes, NFTs are actually a thing, but for NFTs, I'm looking at like stuff like in-game NFTs that can actually be traded for value like within a game itself, or NFTs as keys to open things. Like the $1 million monkey JPEGs, they'll be around, but I don't think they'll be around nearly as much as like last time. Memes are the soul of crypto. I don't know what Truth Terminal is. Memes are the soul of crypto. If you're not into memes, you're doing it wrong. Like I said, 15 to 20% of your portfolio in memes and crypto. That's the highest I would go for like the amount of money you initially put into a meme. I mean, that meme allocation might honestly be the most, that meme allocation definitely might be the most profitable segment of your portfolio after a while. Apes are so last bull cycle off the grid, and metaverse NFTs are, I mean, like for the NFTs to really have popularity, like the game or the metaverse has to have popularity. And right now, most games / metaverses don't have that much popularity. Can Phantom Wallet make it to PlayStation in the future? I just feel like gamers don't want to like connect their crypto wallets. I think that's one of the main issues for crypto games. Like I do think you have to get over that that step. And none of the games honestly have been really that good at getting over that step. I only allocate 2% of your port. I mean, that's fine. If you don't feel like playing memes, you don't have to play memes. I just think I just don't really think memes are a bad play overall. I mean, I still think 15 to 20% of your portfolio in memes is perfectly fine because, like crypto is basically high risk, high reward anyways. And a lot of these utility tokens are kind of BS, honestly. Like, I think a lot of people are starting to figure out that some of these utility tokens are not that much better than like memes. Like they pretend to have a project, or they like, they kind of like promote all these partnerships, but they turn out to be like not all that much. I mean, how many of us got sucked into the whole partnership? Like, how many of us got sucked into the whole partnership thing? And then we found out a while later, yeah, these partnerships don't actually mean anything. Then they don't actually produce much value for the investors. I think a lot of us got sucked into that, right? Group of guys, Soro, and playing hot potato. Yeah, but Bluff City Breaks, that could just be most of crypto, not just memes. It's not like memes are the only coins that pump and dump. Yeah, sure, they pump and dump harder, but it's not like they're the only ones that pump and dump. I mean, the market basically goes up and down in terms of like Bitcoin, right? And even a lot of the so-called utility tokens, like, you know, kind of like peter out after a while. So I just don't really feel like, I mean, like outside maybe of like the top 10 coins, and you have a meme coin in those, like all those other coins do actually do that. And we've seen a lot of scams and hacks and everything in crypto. So I think more and more people are figuring out that memes are not that different from the rest of the market. That utility coins will pump the most come altcoin season. You have 2.3 memes to choose from. Yeah, but I mean, like the ones that actually make it out will pump really big. And Bluff City Breaks, partnerships don't really mean anything. Like they don't really pump price because the utility of the function, like the utility of a function has never really impacted crypto price unless your chain is specifically designed to be janky like Ethereum. The only reason why Ethereum transactions impact price is not because Ethereum has like too many transactions. It's because the blockchain is slow and expensive on purpose. Now that's horrible for its long-term value, but at least like in the moment, it does actually help Ethereum price because it brings a lot of value to the validators because each transaction is so slow and expensive and people can bid the transactions up, which is a huge boon for the validators. But that's really, really terrible for like future use. Like the problem with Ethereum is like the users and the validators and the people actually like maintaining the blockchain, they have like opposite, like they basically have opposite interests. Their interests aren't aligned at all because like the more expensive the transactions are, the happier the validators are, I think. And like the cheaper the transactions are, the happier the users are. So it's kind of like a conundrum for Ethereum that I don't know if they can solve. Vitalik's trying to propose stuff, but I don't know if any of that stuff can ever really get implemented. So I mean, I've said many times before that I have doubts about Ethereum, and that's one of the reasons why. So yeah, utility coins will actually pump, but I do think meme coins will pump just as much. The point of crypto utility is to be fast and efficient, and that does nothing to token price for a fast and efficient network. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And for the RWA stuff, like I know it's really hype right now, but unless they're using your coin to actually collateralize the assets, like I don't know if it really brings intrinsic value to your coin. Like I mean, utility is great, but when you see the utility, you have to ask, how does this impact the price of my investment? You gotta ask that. Because like a lot of people like don't ask that and they just assume utility, it's going to pump my coin up. But a lot of times it doesn't really even, like a lot of times the utility on chain doesn't really use the coin all that much. Unless you're talking about DeFi as utility. Like the on-chain development, the DeFi, that's gonna get the price up, not so much the industrial utility. Because the industrial utility, like most of the times we ask the question, hey, how does this actually affect the price of my coin? And like after researching for a while, we're like, wait, it doesn't actually impact the price of the coin at all. And I think that's what a lot of people get tripped up on. Like, I do think that's what a lot of people get tripped up on. They're like, hey, you know, my coin is being used to track beef, or my coin is being used for like to track products, or my coin is being used for this and for that. Do you mean no incentive is the best incentive? No, that's like the exact opposite. That's the exact opposite of what I'm saying. What I'm alluding to right now is that like what I'm alluding to right now is that the utility does not matter at all. So your XRP utility has like zero bearing. I mean, XRP doesn't really have any utility right now, but I mean like your utility doesn't really have any bearing on the price. It's the DeFi it's a DeFi that actually has bearing on the price. Like having on-chain staking is huge for a coin. You have to balance it out. I mean, you can't just like you can't make your chain like really slow and janky just to have a lot just to attract value. But like having on-chain staking, where like if you have enough coins to actually, if you have enough transactions to burn, and like you can only really do that if your chain's efficient because with Ethereum, since you're constrained to 21 TPS, you're never going to have enough burn fees unless they're really expensive. If you have really cheap burn fees, you need a ton of transactions. You think? I mean, if you look at where all the big stuff is breaking, if you look at where all the big prices are being made, it's with the DeFi, it's with the high yield farming. Like there is actually incentive for people to use the chain. For the coins that have no incentive for people to use the chain, like they're kind of not working all that well. There's no financial ecosystem being built around it. Yeah, I don't know. I would buy other things besides VeChain right now. I do think it will go up with the rest of everything else, but there's other coins that I do think will do a lot better. Reasonable amount of transactions driven by network that will push up because it's not stressing the network. Well, I mean, if you're looking at burn fees, like let's say like every transaction burns a penny. If you have like, 10,000, like 100,000, like let's just say 10,000 transactions a minute, right? That's $100 a minute in terms of like burn fees. And if that actually goes back to the validator or the stakers, I think that is actually a viable method because at that point you have enough fees to actually cover the stakers and the validators. And two, you have like the chain still fast enough. You can't be like Ethereum and like charge $10 a transaction. That's not going to work. But if you charge like 1/10 of a penny per transaction, but you just have 100 TPS consistent, that's $100 like per second, and that's going to be enough. That's actually going to be enough incentive for the stakers to actually maintain the chain. That's how things need to work. Not this like it's going to be really expensive or like, oh, our transactions are free. And, we don't have any staking incentive or validation incentive. That's nonsense. That like neither of those philosophies work. Because if you don't have any incentive for them to stake and maintain your chain, you're not going to get a decentralized chain. But if you make your blockchain like really janky, like no one wants to use it. Yeah, Stuart Chase, you basically have to make it up in quantity. Most of these networks don't burn; they just kick it back to the pool for future use. No, I mean like what I mean by burn is like give the amount that's actually being used for transactions back to the stakers, or maybe throw it in a liquidity pool for people to get. I mean, you have to have an incentive for people. You have to have that incentive for people to actually use the chain. Without an incentive, no one's going to use your chain. No one's going to like maintain your chain. It's an old coin now. Dude, you can't consider things an old coin after a couple months. It hasn't even really been through like one bull run yet. At least give it that. Thought Yellow Pepe and it fell off the cliff. I mean, I don't really know what Yellow Pepe is, but that's why you diversify into many meme coins. You don't just go all in on one. Solana and Ethereum have the retail degen covered at the moment. Ethereum has the bulk of it, but I think more and more of it's transferring to like Solana and other chains. I mean, you got to give things at least like one bull run. You can't just be like, oh, it's not good now. Because it's been stagnating for a couple of months. I mean, if you're going to invest in so-called real coins, you need to give it more than a couple of months. I mean, Near isn't a meme coin, so it's not like one of those fly-by-night coins that you're depending on. If you're like doing meme coins, I can understand that, but Near's not a meme coin, so I mean, I wouldn't really, go for that. Project Unchained, not the chain to pay you. Yeah, that's like literally never worked. There needs to be a lot of on-chain development. Dave Hooper, like I actually listen to my streams afterwards and I can't hear any of the noise that you're talking about. I saw a factoid, like the desk thumping and everything. I don't hear that. That's basically just you. I saw a factoid that 27% of the business leaving Ethereum was going to Sui. I think it might be like they leave for different things. They leave for different chains. Jose Felix, like you expect like big news like every week or every other day from these coins, from these projects. Like they had that big Nvidia thing a couple months ago, but that was it. Like they haven't had much sense. But nothing else has either. The project on the chain doesn't pay you XRP rails. It never has. Like the industrial utility generated from like ODL, that doesn't pay anyone. That also doesn't affect price. I mean, part of it is because no one's actually using it. But the other part is even when Garlinghouse was like bragging about how they were like more than doubling quarter over quarter, had no effect on price at all. Like, and he was like bragging about that for like 3-4 years straight. Like, oh, our international expansion with ODL is so much. We're like having 130% growth quarter over quarter for like several years. Because that was always in his reports, and then it did absolutely nothing for the price. You can only like more than double every quarter for like so long before you realize, hey, this doubling doesn't actually work. It doesn't affect price at all. I mean, you're talking about like exponential growth quarter after quarter for like 8 quarters straight or more. And the price is still the same. There's like at some point you got to realize, hey, there's something wrong with this model. It doesn't work. I like ICP way more than Sui, but right now the hype is on Sui, so that's what I'm DCing into ATM. Look, I think ICP can get to $100. I just don't think it will go above that. You also do need tokens to be locked up, and that's why smart contracts are so important. It's basically FOMO. It's essentially FOMO, DeFi, and ecosystem that's pushing prices up. Relying on some kind of magical industrial utility is never going to do anything, because all these blockchains are basically like designed to handle tens of thousands of transactions per second now. And to fill up to that amount of transactions, like real transactions, not just like BS wash trading transactions, is very difficult. Like even at full adoption, it may not do that. And that's assuming like, because like a lot of people assume that full adoption is going to be like millions of transactions on their chain. I highly doubt that's gonna be the case. I highly doubt that's gonna be like if you're reaching 2, 3, 4,000 transactions per second on your chain and you're not seeing price movement, I think you might need to think of a change of plans. I think Sui can maybe go like 15x from here. We'll see. Yesterday, Fetch has a much better fundamentals than Near. GRT has better chance of ROI, but I have to say I went ICP and will get some Fetch. I mean, Fetch is basically ASI right now. Like Ben Gortzkol, the AGIX guy, I think who's running the ASI alliance right now. Like he claims that he has like conscientious AI, which I don't really believe in. I mean, conscientious AI. That would be like a gigantic step, and I don't think that is a step that any crypto has, like any AI project has actually taken yet. I don't think most people understand like how big of a breakthrough that would be if you actually had like self-conscious AI. That would also be like, by the way, that would also be like hella scary if you had self-conscious AI, but that's a story for another day. Just imagine if you insulted a computer and he got pissed off and Roundhouse kicked you in the face. Oh, sorry, like conscious AI. Self-learning AI. Like true learning AI. Like you tell her, you go up to a McDonald's, you go up to like a McDonald's kiosk and you're like, man, I don't want to eat this stuff because this food sucks. And then like the kiosk is like processing, insult detected, and then a Roundhouse kicked you in the face. Imagine how traumatic that would be. And then after a roundhouse kicked you in the face and you went down, it started like beating you. It was like, yeah, say my food's awesome. He's like, yeah, say my food's awesome. Say it's good. Say it's good. Or sends you an email. I see. You know, the thing is, like, people have been, like, there have been, like leaders in other countries that have been saying that he's been remote shutting down their Teslas. That's kind of scary as well. What would the ultimate meme coin consist of? I don't know if there's like an ultimate meme coin. There was someone that tried to like Obama Sonic Pepe Inu or something stupid like that. I think overall memes just have to be catchy. They have to have a strong community and their logo has to be good. Yeah, I personally think it's like really, really scary that like that you can like remote shut down your car from like miles away. And I also don't like that because it seems like we're getting to like a subscription model for cars. Not only do you have to buy the car, you have to like subscribe to like keep the car running each month. I think that's the model that a lot of car makers are going, that some car makers want to go, and I don't want that model. It's almost as though humans know that AI is the end of us. Like we went through all this before in a very distant past. I don't think so. Crow with knife, silly meme because silly pick logo. It might. I mean, it might. Crow with knife has done well before, so I wouldn't put it past Crow with knife. 15x Sui now, that is 30 around 65 billion. I think Sui could go that high because if you think about Solana's higher than that right now, even without the bull run. Cardano went more than that last bull run, so it's possible. It has to be one of the top chains, but it's definitely possible. I'm actually not that flexible anymore. So he made a bold statement, but I doubt he lied totally. Fetch have a really good network, like with OpenAI and many others. I mean, I don't doubt he has a really, really good network, but I don't really think his statement's like 100% true either. I think like the technology he's talking about is just not there yet. I definitely think like the technology like that he's talking about is just really not there yet. I mean, I'm surprised no one. I'm surprised no one's made a meme like Doge with giant beheading axe. Like if you have Crow with knife, Doge with giant beheading axe. That's a big. That could be a big one right there. Chris Larson donating millions to Kamala while her servant Gary Gensler. I don't really look. Brad, both Garlinghouse and Larson have been like heavily Democratic. They're already rich anyways, so like it's gonna be fine for them. Like no matter how the politics plays out. Most Silicon Valley companies, which these cryptos originate from, will actually support Democrats on an intrinsic level. Like the founders of these companies are usually Democratic. It's like in industry, it's generally like the banking companies, like the big banks and stuff are generally Republican. Tech is usually Democratic. I think we're at least 10 to 15 years away. I don't think Skynet or Rise of the Machines is coming like anytime soon. I doubt I'll see it in my lifetime. Wouldn't be super surprised if I did, but I doubt I'll see it in my lifetime. 2 Cybertrucks because a warlord mentioned AA guns on the back and put it on Facebook. Yeah, see, like, that just, like, AOE 7, that just makes me never want to buy a Tesla. Like, that literally makes me never want to buy a Tesla because someone could just hack into that main computer and shut down my car while I'm driving. I do not want my car to be able to be remotely turned off by anyone. So I will not be buying any Tesla electric cars. I think it's going to be $150K this cycle. Open Secrets is a good site to research public donations. Yeah, I've seen the site. Do you think Musk will get into trouble for bribing voters? I don't know. Like, he's almost like paying people to register to vote. You can't do that. Like, he's saying, like, if you register to vote, you'll be entered in this, like, $1 million sweepstakes. You can't, I don't think you can actually do that. Like you can pay people to canvas and you can pay people to try to sign people up, but you can't like incentivize people to actually. You can't directly incentivize people to register because he's basically saying like I'll put you, like I'll like there's going to be if you register to vote you'll be entered into prize for millions of dollars daily. I mean I don't think that's actually legal. There's definitely going to be legal challenges to that because that is literally that's kind of like bribing people to vote. Yeah, it's a chance. It's a chance to win, but you're offering like a monetary incentive in order to register. That's not actually that should be illegal. Like you can pay canvassers to go door to door and try to get people to vote, but you can't tell the canvasser to actually pay people to vote. We'll have the ability. That's the plan, and that's why I'm not buying an electric car. Look, they need to like not be able to turn my car off remotely. He's not going to get put behind bars. The most that will happen is he gets fined, and he's like, and like he's told to like stop doing what he's doing. But yeah, you can't like incentivize people to actually. You can't like outside of like voting on the issues and doing your civic duty and like maybe like pointing the country in the right direction. You can't give people enough. You can't give people a financial incentive to register. You cannot. You cannot give people a financial incentive to register. Like, look, one of my main complaints about that car thing is like they're basically like forcing us down a subscription model. Like Master Bates, you also can't pay people to sign a petition. Like you can't like pay people to sign a political petition. It's like I mean that's not like if you're paying people to sign a petition, it's not a real petition anyways. I wouldn't pay any attention to it just because you paid someone like for a signature. I've put 50x long after you announce the bull run. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Look, Tiny Bastard, that's exactly like the forgiving debt thing is exactly like Trump promising a big tax cut. Is black on a vehicle a bad color choice? No, I actually like black on a vehicle. I prefer gray because then dust doesn't show up as much. Black, I mean, all cars you can like if you get it dusty enough, all cars show dust. But I think gray is actually the best color. Any chance Sui will be backed by Meta since devs have deep connections? I wouldn't look too much at the personal connections of developers. I can't really think of a case where that's actually gone well. Like just because you're buddies with someone doesn't mean they'll throw a lot of money at your project. So I wouldn't consider that. I would just look at like the merits of Sui and how its ecosystem is actually growing. I really wouldn't look at all the other stuff. I mean, I think like gray colored cars are probably the best for hiding dust. Bonk is on Sol now. Was it before? I thought I thought Bonk was always on Sol, wasn't it? I'm not really sure. I mean, look. I'm not really surprised if some of these memes are going multi-chain because the more liquidity a meme has, the better it tends to do. Like the memes just want people to buy them. Raw Paul was on the Sui board. Yeah. Look, I honestly wouldn't be too like attracted to like big names. I think like that's used as a marketing tactic, but it doesn't actually do too much for the coin. Look, once like memes have already started, some of the memes have already started to shoot up. Once we get past 70, 80K, a lot of these memes are going to start to shoot up. Sui will reach higher than near by market cap and price. Yeah, I mean, Sui is like one of those L1s that has the potential to go really high. Emoji going up on Solana. Nice, nice. I wouldn't say like it's necessarily a safe meme play. I think like it's safer than most other memes. I don't know if it's safe. Too slow the partnership with Boston Consulting Group. I mean, the partnerships are fine, but like I said, I don't think the partnerships provide value to the investors. Because like VeChain's had other partnerships in the past, they don't really do much for price, and realistically, like as investors, that's what we're focused on: price. So we need to actually have more. We need to have like more with we definitely need to have more like price action. At least I hope we do. Look at the 88 all-time chart. It's so brutal. Dude, Dark. It still reached like 3 times its previous all-time high in the last bull run. And we haven't gone through this bull run yet. Like, if you look at the charts of a lot of the older coins, it looks really bad. It seems like Sui has narrative hype this cycle. I think 88 is okay. I mean, like, I would probably buy other things at this point. Dude, bull run didn't get denied. We're still at 67,600, man. We just went down a little. We just, like, retraced a little bit. Do you buy Sui at today's prices or expecting a pullback? I wouldn't actually wait for a huge pullback on Sui. Like, we've waited long enough for a pullback. I mean, like Chinese users can't do DeFi anyway, so that's not really like a market. It just needs to attract people to its DeFi. What do you think is a reasonable? Like markets are reasonable for Sol and Sui. I think Sol can reach maybe $500, $600. Sui can probably at least 10x, if not 15 from here. Dude, stop with the USD as overthink. That's completely ridiculous. I don't think 88 will completely fall off, but as you said, there are other choices. There are other choices that might actually gain more. I mean, like, I don't really know what kind of hype he can actually generate this time around. I'm pretty sure Korea can do DeFi. Yeah, but I mean, like, their DeFi needs to hit certain milestones. If you look at, like, the dexes on VeChain, they're pretty much like dead at this point. Yeah, the whole like touting USDM over USDC is dumb. I mean, everyone who has like any common sense knows you need USDM. The USDC thing, cool. I know you want to YOLO stuff, whatever, but come on, man. That, I mean, like, we all know that's not going anywhere. Like, it would take years and years for USDM to actually like start mattering, and no one wants to wait that long. I do actually like SEI. It's not just buying the VET. It's really hard to reach the VET ecosystem, and there's no liquidity in the ecosystem. That's the problem. Unless you somehow get a bunch of centralized exchanges for the VeChain tokens, or like VET actually does something to attract a huge amount of users, it's gonna be really hard to get it on. It's gonna be really hard to promote that ecosystem. What's ADA doing? Are there influencers doing anything? Any marketing tournaments? I mean, influencers really aren't going to move the price. Influencers just like promote Cardano news. And right now there's no news that would actually move the price. That's the issue. There's absolutely no news right now that would actually move the price. Like, influencers actually need material to work with. And there's no material to work with for ADA right now. And ADA got trashed big time today and Invest Answer stream. They're right because they're... Dude, Invest Answers is just a Solana maxi. Of course he's not going to like Cardano. You need liquidity trapped in DeFi functions to lock in supply and push prices up. That's part of it. I mean, like, you also need a lot of FOMO and promotion. Can MinSwap do a 50x from now's price? I mean, I'm still hoping MinSwap reaches $1, but it may not because like there's very little activity in Cardano's ecosystem. Just what is the advantage of DeFi? Dude, DeFi actually gets people using your chain. Like, DeFi is an incentive for people to come and adopt your chain. It also locks up your coins in value, so it shrinks the supply. And it actually makes people want to buy your coins for the yield farming. So like, it has a lot of effects. I don't know how high APT can go. Aptos? I mean, they have Chingari and some stuff. They're still developing the ecosystem. Like, Sui's obviously ahead of them. Garasoe might try to call the top this cycle, and he'll be wrong. Yeah, look, I mean, like, Big E32 wanted to define, like, utility in his own little box, which doesn't work because, like, you know, if you pay for something and it satisfies a need, it has utility. Like, watching YouTube videos has utility for me because I enjoy watching YouTube videos. I mean, entertainment is that. ADA has enough problems before a snake oil salesman talking. DeFi is DEX as swaps. I mean, his utility tokens aren't really doing any better than like any other, like the other tokens out there. And I doubt they're going to do that much better in like the bull run. Because realistically, like, utility is like, it's hard to define utility in crypto, honestly. It's really, really hard to define utility in crypto. I'm also trying to figure out where all the big catfish are on the Missouri River. Like, I've been fishing off the wing dikes and I've gotten like no bites of big catfish. So I'm not really sure where the hell they are these days. ADA had no, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was funny that they were like that they were arguing that gambling isn't a utility. I'm like, what? I mean, casinos exist for a reason, man. Like, they are a thing. And people keep on going to them. They are staying, have no utility. I think they only like I think like their meaning is like only if it solves one of society's greatest big problems does it actually have utility. And that's just not really like I don't think that's a good definition for utility. Like utility doesn't really depend on like you have to innovate a lot of shit or whatever. It just has to fulfill some kind of need or demand. It's hard to Google Maps doesn't actually have like topographicals. I mean, like you can use Navonics, but they're not perfect. And also, like most of the Navonics stuff doesn't like tell you how deep the scour holes are. And like I basically fished in a scour hole for like 5 hours yesterday. I didn't get like a single bite from a big catfish. I basically got like one small one from like a near shore area. Crypto has to solve massive financial issues. In reality, people just want to have some fun with memes. Basically, and also like Dark, I think they're also forgetting that like having an easy to access market, having an easy to access market without red tape, that is that is huge utility for some people. Like I don't know, like it's either like they're just oblivious to it or they don't want to admit it. Watercolor. I mean, it's the Missouri River. It's basically brown. It's basically like a brownish color, like in the entire river, because it's like sand bottom. It's not like the Wisconsin River. It's not clear. Like Missouri is almost always muddy. Like the Missouri is always really like brownish in color, brownish yellowish brown in color. It's pretty much the same throughout the entire river. Utility like the places that have like a lot of wood and foam floating near like the edges. That's where I found out like most of the fish are. Utility means something. I mean, the Madrid fault hasn't gone off in like over 100 years. I think St. Louis overall, yeah, I think it's pretty close. Purpose is different person to person. Exactly. Look, I also don't think people realize that like there's a huge demand for a financial investing market that doesn't have red tape and that's easily accessible without all the accredited without all the accredited BS. I think they're underestimating like the value of that. Sunny day overhead doesn't show the difference. No, it really doesn't. I look at it from the top of the bridge. It looks pretty much the exact same, no matter where I am in Missouri. And I know there's big fish in there. Like I do just fish the scour holes. And like I got like one small I got like a 1 3 pound catfish yesterday and like a freshwater drum. I think I got a couple of gar bites, but I didn't get like the 60-pound monster. Which chain am I most bullish on? I would say like Solana or Sui, maybe Ton. It really depends. Like I do think Ton will actually use their network to really boost their ecosystem. I mean that's something that that is really something that the other layer ones don't have. Solana has a lot of users right now. Sui's up and coming, but Ton has just that potential to take their massive user base. I don't have enough bait to. I mean, I don't have enough cut bait to chum a spot. But I know, like like I'm fishing off one of the wing dikes and off a bridge, and there's like a lot of wood, like at the edge, like towards the shoreline. And the shore, it's not like super shallow, so I'm guessing there's like a flathead in all that wood. I just can't really get my bait in there without getting it stuck. And it's really hard to get my bait in the exact right position without hitting like a log or something. I'll try it again in like a week or so. We'll see how it goes. I feel like as the water temperature drops, there should be more fish in the scour holes, but there obviously isn't. Ton is all potential right now. Yeah, that's true. Ton, that is 100% true. Ton is all potential right now. But, I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with Ton being all potential. I am absolutely fine with Ton being all potential. No problem with that. Yeah, like I said, I just think they have mistaken I think they just have mistaken conceptions of utility. I really do. Moonbeam piles go to I also need to just throw a lure into the current too, because I think there might be some like white bass or wipers there. We'll see. Next time I'll do that when I'm fishing that spot. This bull run may be shorter since Bitcoin hit its all-time high earlier in 2024. I don't think so. I think this bull run will follow the same timeline as I think this bull run will follow basically the same timeline as all the other bull runs we've seen. I mean, like, this is matching up pretty much exactly. No, like, that's the advantage that TON has over all the other chains. Like, even Solana doesn't have 900 million users that they can possibly exploit. Now, obviously, not all 900 million of them will actually use TON. But, just the potential is huge. Just the potential is massive. So I don't think you can't discount that. A lot of people are trying to discount that, but I don't think you can discount that. Mike Novogratz is bullish. Not surprising. Novogratz is like mainly bullish about just about anything, so that's not surprising to me at all. Bareth Soloway is bearish. Bareth Soloway is always bearish. That's not all that surprising either. If Telegram can figure out how to direct its users. Oh yeah, I mean it's already like top 10 right now. And the other thing about Telegram is it does have problems outside in the United States because like it's actually considered a security in the United States. One of the few coins to be see a dark like one of the few coins that realistically is declared a security in the United States. Highest conviction coin might just be Floki because I really want Floki to do well. Even though my Floki got stolen, I still really wanted to do well. What coin do you besides? I don't hold any TON, man. I like the chain, but I don't hold any TON. There's a lot of coins I like. Doesn't mean I have all of them. I told you, like I give unbiased opinions about like certain coins. Doesn't necessarily mean I hold the coins. Like I like coins that I don't have, and there's coins that I do have that I'm not quite as high on anymore. Why not track down and find out the truth of BitBoy Rug, the community on Bencoin? I mean, I would have to look at the on-chain potential, and I think that's kind of old news as well. I'm pretty sure he did, though. I'm not going to say I'm certain, but I think he did. Also, like Leighton B, remember BitBoy sued the last guy that did that, and I don't want to go through all that nonsense. Yes, he had to withdraw his lawsuit after the other guy basically countered, but I don't want to go through all that nonsense because it would cost me a lot of time and money. I'm glad you see. I mean, I still kind of like ADA. I just think Charles, I think they just need to get like USDC and an EVM. And realistically, people that are banging on ADA's performance, none of the other, a lot of the other old coins haven't done all that well either. That's what a coin is going to do is not be in it. All Bencoin socials and Discord. Dude, he wants to separate out from it. Maybe he's afraid the SEC is going to come after him. Like, maybe it is because he thinks the SEC is going to come after him. Who knows? Look, you don't really buy YouTube. Like, when did he actually delete all that? When did he actually delete all that stuff? This weekend, insane, insane. He definitely, it definitely looks like he rocked Ben Coin. Let's see if it's still there. Which one is Ben Coin? Oh, this one. Is it really gone? Ben moved to join Bencoin. It's still here. It looks like it's still here. So it looks like it's still here. Hit. We are currently assisting the CFTC in their investigation of fraudulent activity of Hit Network and have reported this incident to the FBI. More information. So it looks like it's still here for the Twitter. I mean, I personally think you do need to face the franchise for Cardano, but like they need someone that's way more attuned to the market than Charles. Look at what Chris Larson is saying. It's time for the Democrats to have a new approach to tech innovation, including crypto. I believe Kamala Harris will ensure that American technology dominates the world, which is why I'm donating $10 million in XRP in support of her. That's right, you see. Chris Larson, that's right. Chris Larson is dumping $10 million worth of XRP on your heads to support Kamala Harris. That is 100% right. What do you think about that, XRP army? If your coin is going down because of BTC, I think your buying opportunity is about to dry up. Maybe. I mean, I think dumping like millions of coins to support any politician is dumb. And I think it's bad for obviously it's bad for the coin itself. I don't care if it's like donating $10 million of XRP to Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, because they're both just going to sell it on the market anyways. I mean, given that the whole terrorist thing would probably be disastrous, but still. XRP bros going bonkers? Maybe. Do you hold SUI? I don't hold any SUI. I like the chain though. I personally think like XRP the coin is screwed regardless of who gets into office. So to them it may not actually matter all that much. I don't think it's a bearish signal. I mean, that does show people are actually interested in SUI, which is obviously good for SUI. That does show people are interested in SUI, which is actually really good for SUI. And you're also harping for the guy whose SEC commissioner was the original one that sued Ripple, and whose SEC commissioner was the one that was involved with all the stuff under Ethereum Gate, which you have been touting against for years now. You're voting for that guy. Because it was under Trump that all the Ethereum Gate happened, and it was Trump's guy that sued Ripple and XRP. You keep on wanting to forget about that. Too many people ask about SUI, and it's been. I mean, like they also kicked Binance out, and all the other stuff. Like I actually like Crypto Esquire, like turnout that like early turnout this time has broken all records. So I think that I do think the number of votes is going to be like way over what people expect, or not way over, at least over what people expect. Because like if you look at the early turnout numbers for the areas that have early voting, it's way over what they were. I think we got like two. Yeah, but there's also a lot more people that just became citizens as well. The Department of Government Efficiency isn't going to do anything for crypto. It might pump Doge, but that's about it. Mail in by CA ballot. We couldn't actually request a vote until about a week back. I'm just gonna vote on November 5th. Gensler's term runs out in 2026, so you're not getting 4 more years of Gensler. You're getting like a year and a half more. Yeah, but Crypto Esquire, remember, like one of the parties thinks like vote by mail is a giant fraud, and you shouldn't vote by mail. Huge green candle after the elections. Most likely, look, regardless of who wins, we're probably going to go up after the elections. People just like stability. As long as the markets go up, they need to open more they need to open more voting places, especially in the inner city. Like the line, like the length of those lines definitely needs to be cut down. I mean, Tiny Bastard, the last guy that Trump appointed for crypto wasn't that great either. Just as bad as Gensler. They do need to like in the inner city, like they do need to open up more like voting places, especially in the places where there's like hugely long lines. Like no one should have to stand in line for like 3 or 4 hours just to cast a vote. SEC commissioner. I mean, that's because the SEC commissioner always wants to pull crypto under the SEC umbrella. Yeah, but Master Bates, all the stuff that he got done under his first administration was like anti crypto. There wasn't like a single pro crypto thing that happened under his administration that he did. Did you watch the article about Door County last night on 60 Minutes? No, not really. Doors should be decent. Like Door should be a Trump county just because it's one of the more rural counties. It's kind of like it doesn't have that many people. A lot of people there are just like vacation people. Yeah, but dopamine. The thing about that is like you can't really trust that because like it's all about turnout. Like generally the polls have been within the margin of error. Door overall is pretty split. Like the county overall is fairly split. I it's like almost a 50-50 county. Nifty. But Door's definitely kind of a rural county. I mean, like Chameleon, you can also say that guy Alan Lichtman has basically predicted 9 of the last 10 elections, right? The one he got wrong was the Gore versus Bush one. And no, don't start with me that Gore won. Gore did not win. Bush actually won. The 13 Keys guy, he's got 9 out of the last 10 right. He did predict Trump in 2016. He predicted Biden in 2020. But he did get the Gore Bush one wrong. Door is really purple, they were saying. I mean, like, Door's kind of strange because, like, it's primarily a rural county. Because I don't think Door actually includes Green Bay. They have like Sturgeon Bay and a couple of others. They have like a couple of towns with like maybe 5,000 to 6,000 people, and the rest is rural. But it's more liberal than most other rural areas because it's more of like a touristy area. So, like politically, Doors is kind of strange. And like that very northern part of Wisconsin, like the touristy areas, are always like more liberal than the other areas. Like Bayfield, Ashland, Door, and others. Like they're definitely like they're going to be a lot more liberal than like Iron and like those other counties. Yeah, the 48K thing isn't happening up from Chicago. Also, like Door County in the winter is like so snowed in though. I don't think I would want to live up there. Like it'd be like Door is would be a really nice summer home, but I definitely wouldn't want to be there in the winter, unless you like really enjoy snowmobiling. You can't like freaking move your car up there in the winter. It is a very nice place to visit in the summer though. If it wasn't for the damn gobies taking over everything, I would go up there to fish. But you know, gobies are gobies, and they do goby things, unfortunately. Now it's more about shoveling all the snow like every day out of the driveway. Well, and like I said, like in terms of like major stores and stuff, it's hard to find one up there. Like a lot of the towns are like 1,000 people or less. So like there's conveniences that just aren't in Door County. The biggest town in Door County is like Sturgeon Bay, and that's like at the start of Door County. Look like Vermont. Looks a lot like yeah, it does honestly. Like I said, good place to visit in the summer. Not really somewhere I want to live in the winter. Exactly. Harris is gonna dump that crap on XRP holders. All right, guys, that's it for right now. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications button. I will be back. I will be back later tonight, and I will see you guys later.